Personally, I've never had experience of something on that scale. After we had the 2-minute silence in St Anne's Square and people had left flowers then, that's the point at which that became the public focus for people to respond, I think, to what had happened. Within 3 or 4 days, it had really started to fill the square. So it had gone from a very small collection of flowers and cards and balloons in the central area of the square, and it had grown outwards. But during that week, the weather changed, so it had been quite sunny, and then it started to rain, and the material couldn't stay there. So everything was very carefully sorted and removed, put into boxes and trays, and then it was all taken to a central site. At the time, we didn't necessarily really know what to do with the material, but we knew that we had to treat it properly, that it had to be treated with respect. Once we started to look at the material that had been collected, we realised that it was all significant, because actually what was significant about it was the completeness of it, the fact that it was everything from amazingly intricate pieces of art to small ephemeral things. Everything was equally important in terms of expressing that moment in Manchester's history as a really key moment when people came together. Regardless of their beliefs and their background and their experiences, everybody came together to express that sense of oneness. So we made a deliberate decision to keep it all. The important thing was to prevent further deterioration. So the wet material was frozen, vacuum dried, and then it was decontaminated. So the material is now stable, but it's still very much in the condition that it was removed from the square in. We've created an archive space at Manchester Art Gallery. There's at least 10,000 items in the archive. We've separated out the paper-based material from the other tributes. So the cabinets are used for three-dimensional pieces, and then the material has been broadly separated into different categories. So all the cards are together, the notes from the flowers are together, the soft toys with the personal messages were kept, and we've retained those within the archive. We had a lot of football t-shirts as well. There's several drawers of those, and those are all stored together. It's very basic at the moment, and it's mostly been driven by the need to keep everything safe, to know where everything is. We've worked side by side throughout the whole process with the University of Manchester and Archives Plus. Our collection management staff worked with university MA students to start to catalogue the material and to start the processes of documenting that on a collection management database. The university, particularly the Institute of Cultural Practices, has been documenting the process itself, as well as supporting the project and developing the interpretation and meaning around this material. So that's been helpful in a sense of having on record the decision-making processes and how our own feeling and understanding about the material has evolved over time. The Institute of Cultural Practices has also been key to forming those relationships with other cities who've had similar experiences. We've realised how important this material is in terms of helping people to process or to come to terms or to make meaning in what happened. So we want to be able to explore further what that therapeutic value of the archive could be. With the next stage of work, we will uncover more meaning and more connections between the material and the people, particularly the people who left the tributes, because it's about people and it will continue to be about people and it will be driven by people.